Today I'd like to share with you 5 of the main key areas on how you can gain time in your life, in your business, every single day. The first area is distractions. Now, distractions are a huge time thief. They take up our time, sometimes our energy, often our energy also, and very rarely are they productive and they don't add that much value to our days. Typically, there's small notifications here and there's checking and rolling through social media, pausing and quickly reading about the news. All of these tend to be distractions to our productive work. So, how do you eliminate distractions from your day? One way is having a piece of paper by your side, and every time an idea comes into your mind, every time you want to check social media, every time you want to read something specific, if you want to Google Michael Jackson's birth date, then you write it down on the piece of paper. The reason why this is so helpful is we are constantly inundated with lots of thoughts and ideas, and we tend to act on impulse and want to check it straight away. And if you get in the habit of writing it down, then you can allocate a slot at the end of the day where you go through this and check, do you really want to know when Michael Jackson was born, or do you have other things you prefer to do? But if on the moment you have that thought, it can be very hard to counter that impulse. So by writing it down, it satisfies that part of your mind that was curious and wanted to know. So that's one way of dealing with distractions. Another way is to plan ahead of time how you're going to manage your day and not leave room for it. This can be through having blockers, for example, time blockers that block specific websites or applications so they don't get in your way. And this is a way of sort of forcing you into flow and to manage this. The second area I'd like to discuss is being in flow and being focused. Now, this is a huge asset to how you manage your time, because often we don't need more time, we just need to work in a more efficient way. So in order to be more focused and in flow, you want to do one task at a time. This is also a huge part of managing distractions, but also of being in flow and focused. So just do one thing at a time. Right now, when I'm filming this video, I'm just doing this. I'm not answering a text message or reading my emails or checking LinkedIn. But we want to do all of our activities in this way, just having one clear task that we're focusing on. This is super important for our focus, to get into flow, for our energy levels, and for our attention management, because for a lot of us, it's hard to be focused and concentrated on one task for half an hour, yet we're a lot more productive and more likely to get into flow. Another important element regarding flow is to find a task that is the right amount of challenge and skills. So you want it to be challenging enough that you enjoy it, but not too challenging that it's stressful for you. So finding that sort of right balance and having a clear point deadline where you know that you will have achieved this task. If you have amount of words you want to write, for instance, or something quite specific, because this helps you to have an aim while you're working on a task. If you're just doing messages here and there, but it's not very clear to you what the end goal is, it's harder to get into flow. So that's the second important element about flow and being in focus. The third question I get a lot is, how can you save time? How can you work less hours essentially during the week? One of the main ways is to look at how you manage your time and your energy levels and your focus, because all of these have a huge impact. So if you're feeling really tired, if you're not eating well, if you're not exercising, all of these will make your focus and your attention not as strong, and this will make it harder for you to achieve greater results during the day. So managing your energy is a huge asset to working less hours, because the work you produce in shorter amount of time is more efficient. Another sort of obvious way to gain time during the week is to plan and schedule it accordingly. Time often fits around how much we've decided we're going to work. So if we say we're going to work till 6 p.m., but in our mind we're willing to go up to 8 p.m., guess what? The task will go overflow probably till 8 p.m. So if you're really fixed and strict about finishing at 6, for example, and you plan something afterwards, a call, an appointment, nice meal with your partner, then it makes it harder for you to go past that deadline. So essentially it's about having these boundaries in place. This will already make you have to force you into fitting into that schedule. This is important, and once you start doing this and having really clear boundaries about when you work, this forces you to prioritize more effectively. This forces you to show up, eliminate the tasks that have to be eliminated, postpone the ones that can wait a couple of weeks if they're not the main ones. And postponing is not the same as procrastinating. Postponing is a prioritizing decision that you make when you realize that this isn't your main task or outcome for the week. And then you realize, okay, you put this in the back burner, but it's not procrastinating, because procrastinating is when you take your main task and you put that in the back burner, and that's not what you want to do. Okay, so there's a difference. So postponing, eliminating, delegating, all of these things are done more effectively if you fix yourself clear boundaries about how much you're willing to work. So these were 3 of the main areas: how to work less hours, how to be in flow and focus, how to manage distractions. Another key element is how to say no. Because if you say yes to everything, this also has a huge impact on your time. Learning to say no comes from you realizing that every yes that you say is also saying no to a bunch of other things. When you say yes to this opportunity, it also means saying no to more free time, or to a hobby, or to quality time with your partner or friends. So every single yes is also a no, and starting to see the trade for every yes that you say. Another way of looking at it is it's easier to say no straight away than to say yes and go back on your word. And if you're feeling this doubt, then say, I need to think about it, and then say no if it doesn't feel right for you. This is super important because saying yes to everything has a huge impact on our time and makes us a lot more reactive and sort of sucks all our time up. And the last point I'd like to bring up, which comes up across really frequently when I work with people that are very busy, is how to relax in your free time. So if you're feeling really busy, it can be very hard for you to unwind and relax and enjoy your free time. There are a few ways to go about this. First of all, when you wrap up the end of the day, make sure you have a sort of wrap-up procedure. You go through the tasks you did, you write a few wins, you plan your next day. Having this sort of process in place makes it easier to sort of close the work bubble and go into the relaxed bubble. Second thing is having a way to unwind. So when you do finish, do you go quickly for a walk? Do you do a bit of exercise, some breathing exercises? Do you enjoy cooking? Do you read a book? Having this sort of process to start the relaxed time. So your brain gets used to work is finished, you close the computer. If you're working in the same room where you're relaxing, try and literally switch off from the computer, even if this is what you enjoy doing in your free time, just to have that separation. You can go back to it later, but first have a way of disconnecting. And if you really struggle with relaxing in your free time, then literally one of the best things you can do is try and take 3 and 4 days off, totally disconnected from the computer, from the phone. I know this can be challenging, but your mind needs to relearn what it's like to be relaxed and calm. And if you're used to working a lot, it's hard to go back into that relaxed mode. So sometimes the most efficient way is just to totally unplug before it's too late, before you burn out, and then go back to working, but know a bit more how to relax. I hope you've enjoyed these 5 tips. These are 5 of the key areas that come up on how to gain time. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm passionate about this topic. I firmly believe that if you manage your time and your energy effectively, it makes you a lot happier in life. And this is why I do what I would do. So please reach out, and good luck with all these tips. Bye.